was more excited about that and adamant that like, hey, I'm ready to do whatever you guys need. So Will Ireton saying like, hey, he's thinking about trying to find a way to pitch tomorrow. Just it's like, hey, I'm good. Like obviously I'm not 100%, but I feel good enough and like I want to pitch.
With the Dodgers general manager, and we haven't asked the Shohei Ohtani question yet. This feels like a real failure. Look, you kind of played him perfect this year for kind of when you began to use him as a starting pitcher, so he could be fresh to do it. It's never going to stop being a question, right? How long can he do both? So, do you go into 2026 thinking he's both, and how long do you think he can do this thing which feels supernatural and superhuman for anyone? Take it away.
Yeah, the beauty of this year and the build-up and the unique nature of it was just like talking with Shohei along the way. Because I know that there's nobody else on planet Earth that can articulate what he's going through because nobody else can do what he does. So it's like, hey, Sho, how do you feel? What do you need? You've done this before. You've done it for a while. At an incredibly high level. So a lot of that rehab process and then really finishing his rehab in the major leagues was with the idea of like, hey, what's the ultimate goal come October? Okay, pitch through the entire month. Great. Let's kind of think about it this way and build up so that, you're hitting your peak when needed. And, going into that last regular season start, talking with them, we all felt like it was important to try to get that sixth up, get into the sixth inning. It was like, we were all on the same page, knowing that, hey, we're taking the reins off now, and you're going to go out there and be used like a normal pitcher. And nobody was more excited about that and adamant that, like, hey, I'm ready to do whatever you guys need. So it's, there are no words to describe what he's capable of. And I'm sure as heck not betting against him that he's going to do it as long as he possibly wants to, because he's as good as they come on both sides of the ball. And, I think there's a little bit of like, I can't believe that this is happening again. It's like, oh, that's the greatest thing I've seen. Oh, that's the greatest thing I've seen. Oh, that's the greatest thing I've seen. So I think two of the things that we may never see again is the 3 homer and pitch 6 innings in a playoff game. And then to give Yamamoto credit, I'm not sure we'll ever see, 6+ innings and then close out a game in back-to-back days. We may not ever see that again. So 2 of the more amazing things, certainly my eyeballs have ever seen. You guys have seen more baseball than I have, but I'm not sure those things will ever happen again.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys do a lot of things great. One thing the other teams have noticed about, and a couple of them are, I don't know, either regretting or annoyed, is the foothold you seem to have in Japan. Your 2 best players this year, you have 2 superstars and potentially a third one with Roki this year serving in the bullpen, Japanese players. What was the key for that? How did you get this foothold? When did you realize this is the way to go? They have great players in Japan, obviously. We're the best player in the world and one of the best pitchers on top of that in Yamamoto. And also, while I'm at it, when did Yamamoto? Because I wrote foolishly, everybody's available except Yamamoto. I should have said presumably Yamamoto. When did he tell you that he's going to pitch again? And could you believe it? And were you nervous at all about putting him in?
So back to the first question, our scouting group has done an amazing job led by Galen Carr, in Japan, dating back to this before I got here. But I remember them talking about Shohei in high school and then hearing about Roki in high school and Yamamoto. Like you hear about these guys, they just spent a lot of hours there with eyeballs on these guys, showing them love, showing our interest along the way. And then, as you kind of take a step back, like, okay, culturally, organizationally, we feel like we're set up in a very good place to support, guys coming over. And then, we're in a good position to win. So there's a lot of boxes that are checked along the way that like, oh, that makes sense why those guys would want to go there. So we've been very fortunate that, Shohei chose us. And then I think it kind of help solidify some of the other options when talking to Yama, and then obviously going through the process with Roki, and plenty of times along the way, it's like, man, I don't know how this is going to play out, but really happy it turned the way it did. And Roki, you asked Roki, his regular season certainly didn't go the way any of us expected, but for him to be open to going into the pen, like, hey, I just want to help the team any way I can, to go out and did what he did, having never done that role before. Really impressive, and super excited for him, next year to get back to starting, and having had this, this amount of success, knowing that, use that as a springboard going in. And then back to Yama, I think it was like late that night of 6, getting messages from Will Ireton saying like, hey, he's thinking about trying to find a way to pitch tomorrow, just so you know. So don't rule it out. He's like, this is something that is on his mind, and let's just see how he comes in tomorrow. So we're like, okay, like certainly not expecting anything, but then went out and played catch, and they said he was ripping it. It's okay, I'm good. Like, I'm not 100%, but I feel good enough, and like I want to pitch. And it was incredible. His stuff didn't even take a step back from the night before after throwing 93 pitches, and he did it for 2+. Still throwing 97 with 93 run-hour split. So, like I said earlier, it's absolutely remarkable, and I'm not sure we'll ever see that again. But for somebody to be that mentally and physically tough, to even say I'm willing to do it, like the amount of respect that he's gained from his teammates and coaches, and obviously all of us, we already had the highest amount of respect for him, but that's just a whole other level.
It was just amazing. Will Ireton, the interpreter, of course. I had a couple of semi-housekeeping type questions for my last questions. Kike, Rojas, amazingly clutch. Obviously, their salaries aren't enormous by baseball standards. I can assume you're going to hope to bring them back. And what's the value of someone just being clutch? And then also Max Muncy, he's been a great performer for you guys too. I'm assuming he's got a reasonable option. He'll be back as well.
Yeah, all those guys have had such a huge impact on our culture, on performance, playoffs, all the things that we've talked about, leadership. So those are all questions we'll get into next week. And, obviously we'll spend a ton of time on that. And those guys have been a huge part of our success. And, we'll get into those decisions here soon.
As a way to wrap this up, you used the word culture. I think John used it as well. Again, if I was drawing a parallel between the last dynasty and this one, it was amazing how hungry those Yankees stayed to keep winning championships, that they were not satisfied with anything that was in their past. And I know at the parade, a couple of your people were already talking three-peat. And I'd like to let a fan base, the people who are nice enough to listen to us know, look, we could talk Dodgers ruining baseball all the time. If you're at a ballpark that the Dodgers are playing in 4 hours before a game, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are on the field working out. Okay? Like every day. It is damn impressive because both guys are going to Cooperstown and both guys could rest on their laurels.